Today my topic is Spiritual Authority by Watchman Nee. And this book is all about obedience to authority. And he points out in the beginning that God is more interested in obedience than sacrifice. So the first rebellion in the Bible they discuss is Satan's rebellion. And rebellion is not doing God's will. So when we're not doing God's will, we're operating under the principle of Satan. So if we're trying to serve God and to do what he wants, but we haven't actually found out what his will is for the situation, then we're working under the principle of Satan and not under God. So in Matthew 7, it talks about people that were casting out demons and prophesying in the name of God. But God didn't call them, obviously, and he says, "Depart from me, I never knew you." So working on our own is not appreciated. So we have an adversary in the devil that wants us to follow him and not follow God. So we need to be seeking God's will and resisting the devil. He says we need to have a spirit of obedience, practice obedience, and learn to exercise delegated authority. So the delegated authority, we have first off the authority from God, from his position as creator. He owns this place. He made us. He's the one with all the power, all the authority. So he's the ultimate in authority, but he delegates authority to people to have his authority exercised through these people. So he'll delegate authority to a prophet or a priest, a preacher, an evangelist. So all this service is initiated by God. It's never initiated by men if it's really being done correctly. So a place like the United States, we are a rebellious people. Our country was born in rebellion. We want not the leaders that God has chosen. We want to, have a say. We want to pick our leaders. But the leaders appointed by God are not picked by the people. So the people that can be in authority, people like the example we're given is Moses, that he was meek. He didn't put himself forward. God chose him. And God expects the delegated authority to be obeyed just like you're obeying God. So in one point, Moses' brother and sister rebuke him for his marriage. And God gets very angry with them because they've insulted the authority that God placed over them. So they might be critical, but they're questioning the authority. So God struck Miriam especially down and gave her leprosy for a week. and send her out of the camp. So it wasn't up to Moses to defend himself when he was being criticized like that. God did the justification and re-emphasize that, yes, Moses is the authority here, and we need to be obeying him. So, other attributes of someone that's in delegated authority: they're going to be gracious, not judgmental. They exhort and restore. They intercede. They atone for their fellow men. And personally, they're going to be people that are not prideful, that are not given to talking excessively. They're not opinionated excessively. One interesting thing that Watchman Nee said was that if you're not knowing the will of God, then you should be keeping your mouth shut. That sounded like good advice to me. A person is suitable for a delegated authority, to be authority, if, I say, they're humble and broken, and they need to be in constant contact with God, because they need to know His will, if they're going to be in His will. So they're going to be a person of prayer. They're going to be a person that's not spending their time talking, they're spending their time listening for what God has to say. And there'll be a person that isn't always trying to tell God what He should do. He's a person that is listening and obeying. Let's take, for example, Nahab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron. They are a negative example of what should be done when you're in a position of authority. They stepped out. They were supposed to be under the authority of their father, Aaron, but they decided on their own to go and offer fire before God, without being requested to do that, without concern of doing it the right way, and without the knowledge of their father, who they were under. So what happened to them was pretty extreme. They were burned up. God killed them, as an example. And this same sort of thing happened when the Ark of the Covenant was being transported after it had been captured. They had it on a cart, and the priests knew that they were supposed to carry it on poles, but they were carrying it on a cart, and the ox that was pulling it stumbled, and one of the men reached out and to steady the ark so it wouldn't fall on the ground, and God immediately struck him dead, because he should have known better. They weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So this topic of obedience and authority is a big one. It's not something that we should ignore, even though we might want to. As in America, the rebel people need to learn authority and to learn obedience. And in that way, we'll be working in harmony with the other people of God, and we'll be working in harmony for God and doing His will. 'Cause otherwise, we're just doing our thing, and it doesn't work out.